Hey, this is Chris. We're back to look at two verses that are very important to the Torah Observant Christian viewpoint. Matthew 5:17 and 5:18. Today I'm just going to be getting a quick introduction to this because I'd like to go through chapter 5 in greater detail in a future video. Let's read the verses. Do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. I have not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. For truly I say to you, until heaven and earth pass away, not an iota, not a jot, will pass from the law until all is accomplished. This is, if there is one, a proof text that all Torah observant Christians used as a basis, as the most basic verse to justify their beliefs. It says, or Jesus says, do not think that I have come to abolish the law or the prophets. And this is really what they hang their hats on. You might be surprised to know I absolutely agree with their interpretation of this verse. The law is, it has to be. If Jesus said he didn't come to abolish it, that means it must still be in full force. Nothing can be taken away from it, nothing can be added to it. Jesus also said he has not come to abolish them, but to fulfill them. Now, I'm going to set aside what fulfill means for now, because I really want to wait until the next video till we can get into a more in-depth explanation of what that means. What I really wanted to touch on in this video is that the ramifications of verse 18. For truly I say to you, until heaven and earth pass away, not an iota, not a dot will pass from the law until all is accomplished. If not one iota or dot passes away until heaven and earth pass away, or if not one iota nor a dot pass away until all is accomplished, that means that the entire law must be fully in effect until that time. Till heaven and earth pass away, I think, is a clear reference to the end of the age. Until all is accomplished, I think, is also a clear reference to the end of the age. I know there are some Christians who might be tempted to say that all is accomplished refers to the crucifixion and resurrection of Jesus. But that would make the whole verse self-contradictory, and so we cannot accept that explanation. So the end of the age when Jesus comes back, establishes his new kingdom, and then the law will pass away. And I'm speaking of the new heavens and new earth, not any kind of other kingdom that anyone else might be thinking about. So if he didn't come to abolish the law, and nothing will pass away from it until the end of the age, then I have to wonder how it is that Torah observant Christians can say that because the temple's no longer standing, they're not bound by any of the ceremonial laws, any of the laws pertaining to the priesthood, the temple, sacrifices, anything like that. I don't see how they can say that. The fact that the temple is not standing really has nothing to do with it. There's nothing in the Old Testament that says, oh, all this stuff counts until the temple's not there anymore. I mean, after all, the law was still in effect when the Israelites were taken into the Babylonian captivity, right? They didn't say, oh, well, we don't have a temple, so therefore we don't have to worry about it. They still worried about it, but there was nothing they could do about it. Of course, the same thing could be said now, but nevertheless, it's still part of the law, and it cannot be ignored. Interestingly, there really was nothing stopping the Jews from starting up the Tabernacle again after the temple was destroyed in 70 AD, really, was there? In fact, anyone who wanted to do that could, in fact, still actually follow what the law says. They could follow Torah perfectly. All you need is a tabernacle. You don't need a temple. The temple's not part of Torah. It was introduced later. But anyway, I just wanted to point that out, that and reinforce and go back to what I said in the first video, that the law is a whole, and you don't get to pick and choose. You don't get to delete parts just because it's inconvenient. or just because you think that it no longer applies. There is no exception in Torah for accepting any part of Torah. There is no way to do that. There is no way to read that. There is no verse that says that. You either keep Torah or you don't keep Torah, and that's just the way it goes. So, that's it for today. Next time we will get into a full-blown discussion on the teachings of Jesus as they occur in Matthew 5. Might go into 6 and 7 a little bit, but probably not. We'll probably just restrain ourselves to chapter 5 because it really says all that needs to be said. And we will get into the idea of what does fulfill mean. And we'll also discover that Jesus was not speaking of Torah in the rest of that chapter, but he was rather establishing his teaching as the authoritative rule of life for those who followed him. And so until next time, God bless you.